Happy Tuesday from me and the crew at Dev Dispatch. Here, we make sure that you stay up to date on all the global development knowledge. Every Tuesday right here, I share with you 5 of my recommendations for your absolute reading pleasure. I hope you find something you like. First, and from the African Union, is a report of a study on migration and health in Africa. It looks at the migration crisis in Africa resulting from urbanization, economic growth, and climate change, and the health implications that accompany this. These include potential health implications for migrants and health systems in origin, transit, and settlement countries. Some of the key findings of the report are that health policies often do not address migrants directly, but rather use more generic terms and group them under all persons. The inconsistency in policy coherence contributes to significant gaps between migration and health policy frameworks and also affects implementation. Next is a report on the AfCFTA and the digital economy in Africa, which interrogates issues around digital trade and e-commerce in Africa, including consumer protection, authentication, data localization, cross-border data flows, cybersecurity, and data protection. One could say it provides relevant information to feed into the development of the AfCFTA protocol on digital trade that is currently in the negotiation phase. It looks at the current challenges hindering development of e-commerce and the digital economy on the continent, including the low number of people using the internet, the gender divide in the digital space, lack of digital and literacy skills, and the high cost of mobile phones. Did you know that Sub-Saharan Africa has the most highly priced mobile phones of any region? The report also breaks down regional trends in digital trade, lists the potential economic impacts of digital trade in Africa, and outlines the key implications of the current state of digital trade on the AfCFTA. My next recommendation is titled Pancakes to Pyramids, City Form to Promote Sustainable Growth, and attempts to answer the question, what drives the shape of cities and what actions can policymakers take to guide their growth? It raises alarm over the rapid expansion of cities and the different challenges that accompany this growth. The concept of pancakes refers to cities that grow outward and remain relatively low built, and pyramids as those that grow partly outward but also partly inward and upward, adding height to central districts to increase economic and residential densities. It argues that both forms are important to fight the challenges that accompany population growth. Number 4 takes us to Zambia and examines the sustainable transformation of agriculture through an inclusive green economy with a focus on its livestock value chain. The report lists challenges and shortcomings faced within the agricultural sector in Zambia. These include crops being rain-dependent, low productivity, food insecurity, and failure to meet demand for the rising population, which need to be addressed in order to fully tap into the potential of the sector. The report proposes adopting inclusive green economy principles, enhancing equity and redistributive justice, such that growth emanating from a green economy creates jobs, improves human welfare, including poverty eradication, is resource efficient, and enhances environmental assets, thereby contributing to sustainable development. Finally, I am excited to share with you the United Nations Environment Programme's Adaptation Gap Report for 2020, which highlights the dangerous extent of the climate crisis and urges nations to make a collective effort to address the impact of the crisis, key of which is increasing adaptation investments and outcomes. It argues that strong mitigation and adaptation are both key to avoiding hard adaptation limits. The adaptation finance gap in developing countries is likely 5 to 10 times greater than current international adaptation finance flows and continues to widen. In addition, adaptation implementation is increasing but not keeping up with climate impacts, and current adaptation practice falls woefully short of what is required. That's it from me. Have a wonderful week and check back in next week or browse through our catalog for more recommendations. Stay safe and goodbye.